Hi everyone and welcome to EnthTech. This is Andrew Devdas and I'm very happy and very excited to share with you a bit of my journey of being a tech enthusiast. We're going to share with you my first build, which would be an Intel processor based build. As you can already see a few parts in front of me that I have. It's my first video, so bear with me and do let me know, give me your feedback. And on and off, you will also see a lot of my videos that I'll share with you, which will be a few tips and tricks, but this is just a basic information to start with. Just to give you a little brief before I start with, which I forgot to mention by the way, I am from India, so a lot of this build has parts and pieces that I have sourced from India. Now, the very surprising thing that you'd like to know of where I got all of these parts from, as most of you would have anticipated, this probably would have been to do with Nehru Place. I live in Delhi. Nehru Place is, for those of you who do not know, is a small computer market, an electronics market where you can get all PC and components and parts. Usually, that would be the way I would do things. To build a PC, I would go to Nehru Place, run around a few shops, try to find the best prices out there, and then build the PC from there. And with online shopping on the rise, I said, why not give it a shot? And I was quite surprised. 70 to 80% of the items that I ordered on this build are all from Amazon. It gives you a lot of convenience. If some of you or most of you who've gone to Nehru Place know the hassles of going through the ordeal, the shopkeepers trying to hassle you for the prices or trying to push the products that they like you to buy. This can be a bit of a harrowing experience. I think we can with now safely say that you can pretty much pick up everything on Amazon and build an entire PC from scratch from there. And this is kind of the first experience for that. What I would also do is to share the links with you. Bear with me though, the prices are not going to be the same. Some of them I got on a value day offer, and this I'm building for a company. This build is basically not a gaming build, by the way. It's a build for office use. But I did come across a website which is a fantastic website. I am yet to see something that is purely based for PC and PC component parts, which is primeabgb.com. It's quite a good site. I found a lot of parts which are much cheaper than even from Amazon, and they are totally oriented to PC and gamers and PC parts, which would be quite handy. Mind you, though, the smaller accessories you might not find on the site. They sell processors, motherboards, graphic cards, cabinets, cooling units, PSUs, all of this, the basic elements. Few other smaller parts and components you might have to dig on Amazon or elsewhere. As I mentioned, this build is an Intel i5-94F based build, which, as all of you already know, that the i5-94F requires discrete graphic cards to run. It does not have its own onboard GPU, and hence we would need a graphic card for this. For this particular build, I have chosen to go for the MSI GT710 low profile graphic card. This is the only one which is the most cost effective. I purchased this for somewhere around 2,800 rupees. I will share the links with the exact prices below, but this is just for a rough idea. The 9400F, though I could not get on Amazon. I mean, I could get it on Amazon, but I was running out of time, so I eventually went down to Nehru Place and picked it up. This costed me around 12,050 rupees. So I will share the other links with you on Amazon where you can get it, or also from Prime ABGB as I mentioned. So for the RAM, I chose to go with the HyperX. It's not necessary for you to go for the HyperX. You could pick up any other normal RAM, but preferably a couple of things to know about picking up a RAM. Choice would be best to pick up a RAM of a reputed company. You get a lot of local brands and other companies that are there, which are okay, will run, but will have latency problems, maybe issues, replacements. So I just didn't want to deal with it. Plus, this one of the very good features of this RAM, it comes with a heatsink, and RAM usually tends to heat up. So that's one of the reasons I went with this. The slightly added advantage you have is that it also has overclocking capabilities if you are into overclocking. And by the way, this RAM is built by HyperX is from Kingston. This is a 2400 megahertz RAM. The reason I picked this RAM, I know you can get a lot faster RAM right now in the market, but what I have only supports up to 2666 megahertz. That's the reason I went with this. And finally, and not the least, I would say, not finally, I mean, I have a few other items, but one of the most important items on this build has been an SSD. I'm sure now with all the hard disks in the market available, you might be wondering what would be the SSD, what are the different types of SSD. I'll do a separate video on this to explain to you what the different types of SSDs are, and how you can use these SSDs and how you can use some of these SSDs on older systems. There's a separate video I do on this. Hopefully in some time. This is my first video, so I'm going from here. The SSD I picked for this particular build was an Intel SSD 6. This is an Intel SSD M.2 Nvme PCI-Express SSD, which is basically a 512 gigabytes 660p from Intel. Roughly ranged to give speeds of between 1300 to 1500 megabytes per second read-write speed. Approximately, that's from what I can guess. But the important thing is it's an M.2. It's a 2280 type M.2 PCI Express 3 into 4. I hope I can get this on the video for you to see, or if not, I will share the details with you on the links below. So I purchased this bad boy for about, I would say, 5,800 if I'm not mistaken, and this is purchased from Amazon, by the way. So you can definitely find this, and it's a bang for the buck, I would say. Performance versus price per GB or MB of data that you get here is unbeatable. A 512 gigabytes is more than sufficient. If you do need an additional, you can always add a SATA drive on this. One last item, and then I'll come back to the motherboard and the items for the motherboard. Now, I know a lot of you must be thinking a power supply, you can pick up any power supply. You don't need anything specific. It's not important requirement, but believe me, it is very, very, very important. And it's good to spend more money on a good power supply and based on your requirement, I would say. All of this setup does not require more than 200-250 watts of power. But let's say you do have additional units you connect, USB drives you connect, SSD you might have expansion on, or SATA drives you might have expansion on. It is important to have enough power. You can always use this later on. And once you get a good power supply, it will last you many years, so maybe even beyond the first build that you have. For this particular build, I chose to go with an Antec Neo Eco. I went with a modular power supply, and there's a particular reason for the modular power supply. It's a 550 watts. I think it's bronze certified, and it has a 3 plus 2 years additional warranty. So you can be quite hassle free, and it is higher efficiency, continuous power supply, and a silent fan as well. This costs a lot. The power supply for this one costed me roughly around 4,200 rupees, which I know is a lot. You could get something from 2,800 to 3,400 or 3,200 with a Corsair power supply. But there's a reason why I went for this. One of my other builds had Corsair power supply, which I will show you as well. I went with the 550 is for the particular reason is I have opted to go for an Antec VSK 3000 Elite cabinet. And the reason I went with this particular cabinet is that I am looking for a small form factor. It is, as I mentioned, it is to do for an office space. So a small form factor is very essential and very important is because I don't want it to occupy too much space. That for this, because it's a small form factor, smaller unit, and it can only support an ITX and a micro ATX board. That's why we have a motherboard, which is a micro ATX motherboard. And I chose the modular power supply for the same reason, is that there would be less space for cable management inside this cabinet. So I don't want extra wires hanging around, extra wires in front, and make handling of changing some things inside a device a cumbersome task. And then I don't want to short something out or pull some wires and cause unnecessary hassle. So that's the reason I spent a little extra to get a modular power supply, so I can choose exactly the cables I need and what cables I can put inside this. So just to give you a rough idea, so that's about my parts and components. Monitor is a Dell 19-inch monitor, but for this particular build, I will be using my existing monitor to set it up. I think you can see this. You can pick up a Dell 19-inch monitor with a VGA port now for about 19.5 inches, I think the monitor is. About 4,000 to 4,800, 4,600 to 4,800, I think. The links are below, so with the exact prices, so you can see. So, and the monitor is purely a choice of what exactly you want. Do you want a wide body monitor? You want it for an IPS display? You wanting it for cinematic usage? So there are various purposes. So based on your purpose, you can choose a particular monitor. If you need some specific advice or tips on it, you do let me know. Lastly, I will show you this bad boy, that is motherboard, which is the ASUS ROG Strix B365G gaming. So basically, the reason I chose this was that I needed a USB ports was important. So this has about 6 USB 3.1 ports, 2 USB 3.1 Gen 2 ports. The 6 USB 3.1 were Gen 1 ports, and it has 6 USB 2.0 ports. So there's, when it says 6, 6, and 4, then there is about 4 in the back for the USB 3.1 first gen, and 2 in the front. So the mid tower has a cabinet wiring for where you need to rewire them. And then the reason I got this was it has two M.2 sockets. So I can obviously, the next upgrade if I want, I don't necessarily have to go for a SATA. I can choose to go for another M.2 if I want to keep the speed the same. Actually, this one supports both 3x4, which is very, very good. So I can basically get the same hard disk, another hard disk, even put it on RAID if I need to configure this device. So yeah, pretty much, and it has 6 SATA 6 GB per second ports. It has a USB 2.0 2 ports, HDMI, DVD, DVI-D on board, but that's in case you have an onboard VGA on your processor. But in our case, we don't. Then it has 8-channel audio as usual, Intel Gigabit Ethernet, and it supports 4 DIMM slots for the RAM. It supports Intel Socket 11519 9th and 8th Gen Intel Core, Pentium Gold and Celeron processors. It also supports Intel Extreme Memory Profile XMP. It has a AMD two-way Crossfire X technology also. Not that I would need it or we would ever have it, but the reason for choosing this motherboard, I could have gotten any other motherboard for maybe 6,000 or 5,000 rupees. Specifically, got this. This costed me around 9,600 rupees, and was the M.2 drives, the two dual M.2 drives, which gives me upgradability as an easy option. And additionally, beyond that, I chose a gaming motherboard. The motherboard starts to heat up over time, over usage. It has good heat sinks, it has good heat dissipation, it has better quality of product. The other motherboards also provide a similar quality, but this takes it a notch higher. Hence, provider, and it gives you a few more upgradability features. So, for all intents and purposes, because of the upgradability, because of the quality, it lasts longer and it's hassle free. So that is one of the reasons I spent the extra bucks for this particular motherboard as compared to the rest. So I guess that's about it. You have all the details below, and let's get on with the build, shall we?